Alright, guys, this week's show, I know I said it last week too, it's probably going to be a short one, because there haven't even been any blog updates this go-round. So it should be a short show, more speed doodles, as Son graces us with her presence yet again, but we will see what else I have to talk about. So, stay tuned. Alright, nope, that's not the theme song at all. I promise I have it. I did, actually. Ugh, I'm awful at this. See, I'm still on screen, though, so it's not so bad. I had it. I really, truly did. Alright, guys, Son is clackety-clacking away, and Wolfie in the chat says, sounds like someone's brushing their teeth. That is some serious brushing. But yeah, so welcome everyone that's here watching us live. Real quick, if you'd like to watch us live and you listen to us on YouTube, you listen to us on YouTube, you listen to us on iTunes, you want to watch us live, twitch.tv/Chronicles of Tyria every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. But again, hello everyone and welcome. I forgot the intro. Episode 91 of the Chronicles of Tyria podcast, Gw2 podcast for fans, by fans. I again have been graced with Son's lovely artistic presence as she already begins drawing something and I have no idea what to expect. I feel like I know, but I don't know, so I guess we'll see. But I actually have a meme to start off the show. So, this episode is brought to you by the meme. It's not really a meme, actually. It's a webcomic, and it made me laugh. So, it says, and I'm actually unfamiliar with the webcomic, but it says, what is the name of this webcomic? I totally blocked this on out of here. For lack of a better comic is the name of forlackofabettercomic.com. And I assume it's the main character working at a clerk and says, will that be all for you, sir? And he says, yep, that's it. And he says, alright, have a great day. And then it ends with, oh my god, I'm an NPC. So, I just saw this, and Naveen actually posted this on her Facebook wall just earlier tonight, and I saw this, and I laughed out loud, so I had to make sure I shared this with all of you. So not really a meme, a webcomic, but we've got webcomic news of our own coming up in a little bit, so that kind of segues nicely.
Yay, segue!
So, alright, that is our webcomic, and I will obviously link, for lack of a better comic, in our description, and if the rest of their comics are as funny as this one, I can only imagine that it's definitely worth checking out. So, no question of the week last week, but we did have a little bit in the way of mail, so I will read that. For those of you, and get this, Tori G did not send us a wall of text. Said, I know I'm late with this particular joke, but I couldn't help myself. Hey Lag, I heard you like boons, so I stopped on my trip in Boonville to get some for you. Sadly, I didn't have my boon duration equipped, and attached this picture. So, Tori, if you are watching and you want to comment next week, are you in Boonville, New York? Because that would be interesting, because I actually know where that is. So, thank you for stopping in Boonville. I appreciate all the boons. Yeah, I know you said you were in Ohio not that long ago. If it's Boonville, New York, I'd be curious, just because that's I travel through there quite often. So, all right. So thank you for the boons. And Fishbait commented and said, I posted something on Facebook. I forgot. LOL. Oopsies. I know why you couldn't find that. I got shot off Facebook. Hee hee. Sawi with a winky face. So, no worries. Alright, we are just running right through this. You better get your drawing done.
Yeah, I think that this might be a two-parter. This drawing.
Well,
it'll be all your fault.
I think she's drawing what I think she's drawing. So, I guess we'll have to see. You put something in here about the heartbleed virus, and I've actually heard a lot about this, so.
Okay, yeah, well, because it's a huge deal because it hit government sites. Like, no one in Canada can file taxes until sometime in the weekend, like past the deadline, technically, because the government was hit, even. It's some sort of vulnerability that they thought that they had fixed, but they didn't until they were like, oh shit. And so there's huge lists going on, like change your Facebook password. Amazon says they're not impacted, but if you're like me and tend to only use 3 passwords for everything, you might want to change all of them, because you don't know what might have been compromised. Someone did ask on Reddit if Guild Wars was compromised by this, Heartbleed. They are not at all. If I can post the link, that'd be great. But literally, someone from ANET just said we don't even use that protocol. That was has the vulnerability, and on top of that, ANET is continuing to beef up their security anyways.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, it's SQL based.
Yeah.
I believe. I actually got an email about this morning at work, about how this is kind of just as like a FYI, this is out there and happening. And then I got subsequent emails reassuring me that all of the software that we are planning on buying will not be impacted by the Heartbleed virus.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it's a pretty big deal. It was like I said, you said it's hit government. I don't know if it was just Canadian government or if it also hit American stuff as well.
Well, it's a leak in a protocol that's used. So whoever uses the protocol, because it's not just a specific program that's the issue in that case.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's why things like Facebook are being targeted or like are vulnerable to it, not just government sites. It's just, yeah. Twitch is probably, I don't know about Twitch. Bootspur. Sadly, I've been lazy and I haven't checked too deep. Facebook is. Amazon says they're not.
There's been a lot of interesting cybersecurity attacks lately. Target got hit over the holidays with that. I actually had to get like all new credit cards because all my credit card companies were like, "Oh, hey, here's a new credit card because you shopped at Target." So,
oh wow.
Yeah. But yeah, so good news for us. GW2 won't be impacted, but just be mindful of what's going on. You may want to just kind of keep an eye out on what's trending regarding this stuff, because it may be impacting stuff at work, some protocol, stuff you use at home, depending on what kind of sites and things you visit. So just keep your eye out. I guess that's really all we can tell you.
Yeah, change any passwords that you're uncertain of. Definitely keep an eye on your bank statements. Especially if you have online banking, it's great for security. If you start seeing anything weird, yeah, Bootspur provided a link for a site where you can check to see which sites might be a thing.
Yeah, and a site to check which sites are okay. All right, well, thank you for that. And again, I'll post that and save that in our show notes here. So.
Yeah, and it's what Alu says. It's an error in the protocol. It's not someone being malicious yet. It's just like, oh shit, that's not fixed. Like we totally thought it was.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see. But just again, keep an eye out on the link up again, just in case you guys missed it. I'll post the one that Bootspur posted there. But keep an eye out on it. You never know what you'll be able to find. So. But yeah, that's a little bit of sad, imposing news. But here's some happy news regarding our webcomic. The next of the webcomic characters that will be soon joining our roster has been released. This is the human winner, Isis, who I have just linked the character profile, the biography.
At least we're pretty sure her name is Isis.
Yeah, I mean, there's some question about what the name actually is, but if you want to know what we're talking about and where that comes from, you'll obviously have to keep an eye on the webcomic pretty closely. I guess next week will be the release of the final biography page for the Char character, and then at that point we'll be picking back up with the comic as usual. So be on the lookout to see the introduction of the new characters and how that'll change the party dynamic and what kind of kooky adventures they will get into. You have anything to add to that, Solon? Or
No.
No? Alright.
Scribbling away! I will be hard at work.
Alright. As you can see, she's, hard at work right now, so.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited for. And don't. If you have to make this a two-parter, don't rush it. It's worth the quality. I could talk for a while if we need to cover stuff. So, again, not a lot of news came out of ArenaNet lately, but I'll post this link. This is a pretty comprehensive list that was posted on Reddit. If you guys hadn't watched the live stream, it's pretty interesting how that went down. Did you watch it, Son?
No. I don't have the patience for those things for some reason. I usually just wait for people to just tell me about it. It's like me in the forums. Just tell me. I don't want to have to go in there.
Alright. Well, let me explain to you how interesting this live stream was. They start off by saying, like, we have a ton of questions. There's so much information. You guys wanted to ask so many questions. We actually won't be taking questions live from the Twitch chat because we have so many to answer already. And then the stream only lasts like 20 to 25 minutes, and they don't even do like a formal closeout. Like,
what?
Basically all the information happens, and then someone at the end asks, like, the one guy, and whose name escapes me, and I'm sorry to the Ain't That, but he has like a movie theater announcer voice, like that deep, almost like a Steve Blum kind of voice, like a deep. Steve Blum plays Ritlock, and a ton of other anime characters, but to give you that kind of an example of what his voice kind of sounds like. So this deep kind of booming voice, and he's like, someone in the chat, well, even though they said they weren't going to take any chat related questions, said, can you do your best movie narrator impersonation? And he was like, this year, coming to Guild Wars 2, the feature pack, well, blah blah blah, and he does this whole little thing. And then, like, the one girl who's on the thing is just like, awesome, end of stream.
What?
Yeah, that was it. And they're like, there's so much questions, so many different, things to tell you guys, and that's how it ends. Like, I don't know if they're like, oh crap, it's like, it's almost 3:30, time to go play ping pong in the lunchroom and have some beers, we gotta close this thing down, or like, the stream just ended and they're like, meh, there's technical difficulties, we don't really feel like putting it back up.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but that's how it ended. It kind of was like, that's it? There's no more?
Yeah,
So I don't know.
that's really weird.
I don't know. But I will go through. They did clear up some questions. I had a lot more questions that I would have loved clarification on, based off the questions they asked, but since they weren't taking Twitch questions, it kind of didn't make any sense. But I'll go through what is on this live stream notes here. For those of you who are wondering, your Hall of Monuments skins that you may have gotten from playing Guild Wars 1 and uploading things to the Hall of Monuments, those skins that you can currently go to the Hall of Monuments in Guild Wars 2 with the Hall of Monument stone thing there, you can apply those as many times as you want. They do not cost transmutation charges to apply them after the wardrobe goes live. So, just so you know, you can use, they cost 0 charges, use them as many times as you want on as many characters. So,
the same can be said about the achievement chest rewards.
Yes.
Like ones for like the 5,000 points, 7,000 points, those ones.
Yep.
Same thing.
The Radiant and Infernal gloves, gauntlets, helmet, and all those crystal and I forget what they're called. Zephyr, what are they called? The weapon skins.
No, Radiant and Hellfire.
No, I mean the weapons.
Yeah.
Crystalline?
I want to say crystalline, but I'm not sure.
You guys know what we're talking about. And they
if you don't, you're not Guild Wars fans.
Don't say that. We don't want to alienate people with the less than 100 achievement points. How do you even Guild Wars? Zenith, thank you. I was close with Zephyr. Thank you, El Carolina. Zenith skins.
Thanks.
They also reiterated, for each rank that you have obtained in PvP, you will be given 1 transmutation charge. So for me, I'm like rank 25, I think. So that means I automatically have 25 charges when I log in for my PvP stuff. You gain 1 charge each time you fully explore a city in the game. I know a lot of people were worried about that because you usually get 3 transmutation stones when you explore a city. So,
is it 1 charge or is it just some charges?
It's 1 charge, but if you think about it, that's basically the same thing because 3 transmutation stones equals 1 charge in the conversion rate.
Oh, so, really? I thought it was transmutation stones were 1.
Crystals, the level 80 ones, are 1-to-1. Stones, the yellow ones that you get from completing maps and sometimes in daily rewards, those are a 3-to-1 ratio. You didn't get that?
That was not what I got. I got the yellow ones were 1-to-1, and then the level 80 gave you 3 charges.
No, you had it backwards. It was 3-to-1 and 1-to-1, not 1-to-1 and 1-to-3.
That's lame.
Well, theoretically, the only way to get the level 80 ones is to buy stuff in the gem store, so they're harder to obtain, technically. I mean, they're more costly, I guess you would say. Whereas each time you explore a main city, there are 5 main cities and Lion's Arch per character that you have. And you can automatically start off with, 5 characters, I think it is? So, I mean, that's 5 times 6. You're at 30 charges if you explored all of the main cities on each character if you didn't have any additional character slots. Because previously you would get 3 transmutation stones for that city. And since it's a 3-to-1 ratio, it's the same thing. But just to clarify in case you were curious. And this is a huge one for me because through transmutations and things like that. If you have 1 piece of gem store armor still left in your account anywhere, when the wardrobe goes live, you have the entire set unlocked. So, like I know I've bought several sets to only use like 1 piece, and I may have used some and changed my mind and transmuted things away. You get the entire set unlocked, which is awesome, as long as you have 1 piece remaining. So that's great. And here's the other one. If you have duplicate gem store sets, like let's say you really like the Primeval chest piece, right? I'm talking to you, MB, since you bought this thing like 8 times. If you own that chest, like say you bought 5 of 1 gem store skin for 1 piece, like the chest piece, for instance, you can they say wait until after the 15th, but essentially you can request refunds for all of those. So any duplicate armor sets you bought from the gem store, you can request refunds. They also said, though, just so you know, if you still have pieces that you like skins that you haven't applied yet, you can still apply them after the fact, rather than having to use transmutation charges. So that was pretty neat.
Yeah.
So, you know, let's say you do have duplicates, and you really want to use the chest piece and like the helmet, right? Rather than having to spend your fairly hard to get transmutation charges, you could just apply the armors as you wanted, or again request the gem refund and do with that what you will. Again, Hall Monuments will be applied to the wardrobe and be applicable for free. Not that I feel like this really needed explanation, but racial and weight restrictions still apply to armor in the wardrobe. So even if it's in the wardrobe, your light armor character can't wear heavy armor, and your Sura can't wear Norn armor. It's still restricted, but most town clothes helms will be converted into wardrobe pieces, while town clothes below the neck will be converted into tonics. And they've said that, so it'll be the whole set converted into a tonic that you can double click and apply as much as you want, and that will work in combat now. And again, another thing is regarding refunds. Refunds for tonics you don't like, submitted after the 15th, may be granted on a case-by-case basis. Another thing they're reassuring you, please wait till after the 15th, because I know a lot of you bought various pieces, or town clothes sets, to get, you know, like the top of this one and the bottoms of this one, and now that won't work. Now it's a full set and a full set. So they're saying wait to see what it looks like, and then if you really don't like it, you can request a refund, and they'll evaluate them case by case. Which is kind of crappy, but I don't really play around with town clothes too much. Do you? So?
I don't. I do think I actually do own a single top somewhere. My biggest concern about the tonics is, can you wear multiple tonics? Like, can you have your halo and a top and a pair of bottoms and a pair of shoes on? Or are you just stuck with one?
I would imagine that the halo is separate, because that's kind of its own thing. But the tonic would be, if you double-click the tonic, it applies the full skin to your body. So, like, let's say you bought the winter outfit, right? Or the Mad King outfit, or the witch outfit, right?
Well,
if you click that, it applies the whole thing to you.
No, the outfits are going into the outfit slots. What they're turning into a tonic is like the rider's crop pants, the rider's the glasses, the special boots, all the different hoodies that they brought in, the different shorts that they brought in, the individual pieces.
Well, I think there's a little bit of a disconnect here, because this is kind of what they clarified in the live stream itself. There's that appearance slot, but that's just for helmets.
What?
Only helmets. Like the glasses, the sailor cap, the quaggan hat, the bear hat, all those things. That's the slot. So you can still wear that. So theoretically, you can wear your armor with like a quaggan hat if you want. But the full sets, and that's where I'm a little confused, because the full sets became tonics. So like if you have the winter outfit or the Mad King tonic, or the Mad King outfit, that whole thing has now become a Mad King tonic that you can then apply to your character in combat, but it has to be the whole set, top to bottom.
Is so...
And you can't mix and match. And you can't dye it when it's a tonic either.
That is so confusing, because that's like the exact opposite of what their notes said before.
Yeah, that's the deal. The appearance slot, and then again, and I don't know how it works. You, like, for instance, like you said, like the riding top or the hoodie. You know, there's riding pants and riding tops. Do those combine in like one tonic? You just get them both, or is it like only one or the other? So then you're wearing, like, let's say you're a warrior wearing heavy armor, like greave pants, and then like a riding top. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't really know, but again, the other problem is you can't dye a tonic, you know? So whatever color the standard color is for that tonic, you're stuck with it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I thought that they were turning all the headgear into like the hats and stuff into armor.
they are. That is. I think that goes on a slot though. That's like an appearance slot, for the headpiece armor. So you could be running around. What's it called? You'd be running around in your heavy armor, your light armor, your medium armor with like the deal with it shades, which would be kind of cool. And like I do want to run around as my warrior with the Quaggan hat on, so I think that'd be kind of funny, just to be different. But again, it's still a little and there was no response from the chat, so most town clothes and helms will be converted into wardrobe pieces, while most town clothes below the neck will be tonics. So I feel like in Guild Wars 1, it was the best deal because you had like a helmet slot, a helmet appearance slot, and a like costume slot for your body. And you could choose to turn the costume on and the helmet off, or like, either one. So like you could have your armor and then use your helmet slot and then have like the Mad King Pumpkinhead and run around with like your full armor. But at least that's what it seems like, and it seems like that's what they were saying, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And the toys, and again, I think we kind of mentioned this last week, but the toys are basically the same thing as any kind of the consumable items that you would have, like the experimental portal gun and that kind of stuff. So like you have it in your inventory and you double click it and that'll put you in like costume brawl mode. So there's no slot for that.
Yeah, if it's like that, then that's fine, because that means you're not unequipping your existing weapons. Because the way I understood it before, I was awfully peeved about it, because it was like, so you're telling me I have to unequip all of my weapons in order to put on a scepter?
Yeah.
Like, really?
No, I think it wasn't in this live stream, but I think like somewhere on the forums or something they did say that. So it's the equivalent of like one of those like one-time use consumables that you could buy from various like event NPCs, but it's a permanent thing. Like it's a reusable consumable. So I mean that's okay. That's not too bad. Like have a boxing glove and you double click it, and now you're in costume brawl mode or what have you. Because I think they asked like how is that going to affect World v World? Because like some of the items were usable, like they used to be usable in World v World, like the toys, and they would actually allow you faster movement than say you would be able to move normally, and like they banned them from World v World because of that. So one of the questions someone asked is like, will they still be banned? And the devs were like, if they were banned the first go around, you can probably bet they're going to be banned again. So PvP gear. PvP will use your gear from the wardrobe, so you will not have a separate gear look for PvP and PvE. If you want to switch it, you'll have to use charges. However, again, PvP players will get a one-time allotment of charges based on their rank, which we kind of said earlier. Again, duplicate outfits bought with gems. Refunds can be requested after the 15th, or you can keep it for transmutation charges. And this is again the bummer for me, which I'm kind of upset about, but duplicate weapon skins unlocked with Black Lion tickets won't be refunded. But that's because they're tradable and you can make a decent amount of money on those. So I get that. Any item transmuted, and we kind of mentioned this last week too, but any item transmuted will unlock the base item. So like if you made like, I'll use me for an example. I made an ascended hammer. Right? So I wanted the ascended stats, but I don't like the look, so I have the Genesis hammer, which is the look I like, and I transmuted them together. I will then, when the patch goes live, I'll actually get both of those skins.
Right.
So I'll get the one I used for looks and the one I used for stats, and that goes for everything, armor and all that stuff as well, so you'll get both. Which I feel like caters most towards ascended gear, because ascended gear, like, I don't really like any of the looks of it, but you want the stats,
Yeah, well, and especially for things like PvP and whatnot, it can be a little bit of a giveaway if someone can actually recognize it based on its color.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, well, you're obviously running a Berserker build because you've got this weapon. So.
Yeah, very true. I never thought of that. That's a really good point.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
On the note of Ascended Gear, because of the fact that Ascended Gear will now be account bound, if you skin an Ascended item with a racial skin,
Yeah.
It will remain locked, either at least to that race, but it might even be locked to the player. I wasn't clear, but it is still locked. So you can't skin, a T3 armor for onto Ascended and then pass it on to a Norn. It won't. You have to remove that skin, like overwrite the skin in order to move it around.
And I'm actually glad you brought that up, because I didn't actually. It's not in the notes that I have here, but they brought that up on the live stream, and I didn't quite understand what they were going for. But now that you said it, it makes sense to me. And you're right; it's locked to the race. So if you account bound it to a racial armor for like Sylvari, say, other Sylvari can use it, but you can't give it to Inasura. The weight or the racial restrictions still apply. So good point, thank you, because I totally didn't get that. I was like, what are they talking about? This makes no sense. But now I do. Transmutation splitters can be traded in for transmutation charges if you don't use them before the 15th. And I believe that, I think they said, is a 5-to-1 ratio. If you bought a transmutation splitter, I think that trades in for 5 charges, but I'm not sure. And then they also reiterated again gas mask skins or like the molten gauntlets. Any of those ones where you picked one, you have to choose heavy, light, or medium armor class, and you have to choose one. As long as it'll be applied to all weight classes, even if you already picked one. So that's good. And this is something that kind of was a bummer to me, even though I never bought any. You know the instant trait resets that you can get in the out of the gem store, out of Black Lion chests that lets you reskin your, redo your traits anywhere in the world right now. You do not get any compensation come the 15th for those.
No. You can, from what I read, if you purchased them and still have them, you can apply for refund. If you got it from the chest, you're screwed.
Yeah. Which who would buy those? So, that's what I say. So, either way, it doesn't help me.
Because you have some, and they do need nothing.
Yes, and they're like, you gotta use them before the 15th, or they're gone. And I'm like, well, guess I better redo my traits for no reason, just to get rid of them. And Wolfie in the chat again said it's 5 charges for a splitter. So that's good. They clarified a little bit on the last active login. It does not tell you whether or not they logged into your guild. Like, they're representing your guild, rather. It just tells you the last time they logged in, period.
Yeah.
And it's visible.
So helpful, but minimally.
And it's visible by all characters in the, like all players, not just the officers or the guild leader.
Oh, okay.
Gathering nodes will still be randomized every map, so the mega server is going to screw with you being able to try to find your nodes every time. And the world boss schedule will be released all at once, and this includes the guild world events. So it won't be rolled out in phases. That's all going to happen in one shot. So,
which I guess makes things easier for adaption-wise, like players to adapt, but still.
Yeah. So that was it for the live stream, and we've got Son. You found a whole bunch of stuff. Do you want to read it, or do you want me to read it for you? Depends on how much you want to draw.
Yeah, I can't do. Okay. Some stuff I found on Reddit. Because when you asked me this morning if I could still guess, it was all like, I'll try to be helpful. There was a post on Reddit that Google found for me, because I'm not a Redditor. Just a reminder that those blade shards, keep hanging on to them. I know we haven't heard much about them, and they're just kind of like rotting a hole in your bank right now. Or if you're like me, probably taking up a whole tab. Yep. The mystery vendor is still coming. Nothing's been said about it, but it's still coming. Hopefully we will see it this feature patch, but some speculation has even put it as far back as like the Bazaar of the Four Winds, I believe it was called.
Yep, that's my guess, because they had that NPC there last time that took like your candy corn and your Zytaffy and all that kind of holiday. I guess I'll use specific items.
Right.
But I guess I kind of hope so, but I hope not, because the shit you got from that vendor last time was kind of garbage. Like,
Yeah.
you trade in all that stuff to get like random celestial recipes for like random pieces of armor. Like, I'm really glad that I have my celestial heavy armor helmet, my celestial medium armor gauntlets recipe that I'll never use, but Citrus, to your comment, yes, my friend Sean is behind me here, I guess over this shoulder, and he's watching Goblet of Fire, as you can see, maybe part of it here. Looks like that's Rita Skeeter. I can't really tell. I'm just looking over my shoulder here in the little video. Yes, I'm throwing, again, not that any of you guys care, but I'll tell you anyway. I'm my best friend Sean, who's right here. Right there. Him and my wife both have the same birthday, which was last week. And this weekend, I'm throwing a party. It's a Harry Potter themed party. It's going to be a big deal. There'll be like 30 people here. It's pretty crazy. And he is making candles out of these LED tea lights and some wrapped toilet paper towel rolls, as you can see. Come this way with him. Nope, go closer to the TV.
That's not the TV.
See that? See how they're kind of floating there over my shoulder? And we're going to hang these all in my dining room so it looks like the Great Hall in Hogwarts, so they'll be floating candles. We're clever like that. Maybe I'll make it a blog about it or something. I've been thinking for a long time about photo documenting the entire process of this and writing a whole blog. There's going to be people dressed up, we're doing themed food, themed games. It's going to be pretty crazy. I've been stressing over this for a while. But it all comes to fruition on Saturday. Everybody's already been sorted. It's going to be great. We're competing for the House Cup. Good times. So, yeah. I'm a little on the fence about this blade shard vendor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
'Cause
who knows what we're gonna actually get for it?
Because I had something like 15k candy corn when I went into the Bazaar of the Four Winds last year, and I was completely disappointed. And then thankfully I held on to it so I could use it to get candy corn cobs for Halloween this past year. But like, really? I hope they give us something better. Like, maybe we can trade them in for like useful things, like ascended materials or something. I don't know.
Or recipes you can't get anymore.
That would be cool too.
There's like those ones that use the sprockets.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you can't get those recipes anymore now that we're done with the what's her face.
Well, you can still get sprockets if you finish that one thing. You can go to your home instance and mine sprockets from the sprocket generator.
Yeah, you can get sprockets, but you can't get recipes. Like the dueling recipes. Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if they're worth it. I wonder if you can trade them.
You can trade them. I don't know if they're worth anything yet, because I got a few and I've been hanging on to them. Because I'm like, I don't think these stats are useful for anything that I plan to do, but
I still have the Molten Berserker tonic recipe. I'm still hopeful that that'll go up in price. But anyway.
Well, hey, if this change to tonics means that maybe we can combat in them,
that would be cool. Oh yeah, and yeah, good. That's a great point. You can get blade shards from the sprocket generator. What? You can get about one. I don't know if it's every time, but it seems like every time I go there, I get about 5 to 7 sprockets and 1 blade shard. And I don't know if you're supposed to be able to get blade shards from it, but you can. So.
Yeah, that doesn't seem right.
I mean, you're not going to make a whole lot if you're getting 1 blade shard at a time per day until, June, when the Bazaar of the Four Winds should go live, if they stick to the same schedule.
Yeah.
But you also mentioned something about the festival, and this just blows my mind because it makes no sense. But,
today there was a news article on the ArenaNet site celebrating the festival. So congrats, guys, for getting onto the actual official site. Getting a little news article there. I was thoroughly confused. Lagywn helped me. Not that me being confused is news to anyone. But Lagywn helped point out that that happened like several weeks ago, so that's kind of slow, but still, that's pretty awesome that they got super recognized by ANET there.
Yeah, it is a cool story, and you know, I did help promote the festival, and I got to know a couple of those people. But basically, what they said was they started off in 2013. It was French only, the festival, and it only took place in like a small area in France. There's only a few people, and this time it took place across the internet, and it was France, Romania, and Germany. There was things happening all over the place. Unfortunately for me, they were all on EU servers, so I couldn't jump in and try to win any of the prizes or play virtually with those guys. But actually, why don't I pull up the image here, and you guys can see Festival peeps here. Oh, that's me. Here we go. Check that out. Got all the cool Charlie plushes going around, and there's a collector's edition of the game, it looks like, and some sweet Festival t-shirts. Look at all these people celebrating. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, they basically held a little con for themselves there.
Yeah, and it's
pretty awesome.
It's exciting because I had talked with some folks about doing a Guild Wars 2 con, but it always seemed to fall through. Like I had people like going pretty crazy out there looking for like vendors, trying to get like people like Razor to come and support it. And I was like, guys, we don't even have a venue, a time frame, or a list of people coming. But they're like, we got to get some vendors there. And I was like, guys, let's step at a time here. But they did actually put up a little video, so it's only a minute. So why don't I just pop this up here so Song can do some more drawing.
I love how I'm a schedule now.
Yeah, you know.
It's not done. Keep talking.
I'm doing what I can. So that was pretty interesting. I was laughing at they were showing off the games that they were playing, and one of the games it shows them rock paper scissoring over a t-shirt, and I just thought that was funny. So pretty cool stuff. Sorry, go ahead.
They had some fun games like having to draw Guild Wars things with their mouths.
Yeah, there's some pretty neat stuff, and I wish I could have participated or gone over there. Would have been awesome, but that's no cheap trick. Cheap trick. I have cheap trick on the brain because they were freaking playing that 70s that 70s show theme song when we went out to dinner tonight. It's weird. Anyway,
Maggie can't talk no more.
Nope, not at all. Let's talk Gem Store then, because this is the last little bit of news that had come out. First, we did data mine this a little while ago, actually, 2 or 3 weeks ago. The musical frame drum, the new musical instrument, and it's pretty interesting. I actually bought it, but I haven't actually used it yet. But from what I gather, you can record stuff with it too. Did I read that right?
Yeah. It actually sounds pretty good. Jack's played it for me for a while. but there's two modes. There's like pre-made rhythm mode, and then there's also user-made rhythm mode. So you make your own rhythms. The only problem with the user-made rhythm mode right now is if you leave the map, you lose your memory. So like you can program all the keys to all these rhythms that you want. However, the moment you leave the map, it's reset to blank. And the dev did say in the article that he wants, like, they're trying to figure out maybe a way so that it's like permanently stored, like if it's just some sound file on your computer or something like that. But that's somewhere down the road, and who knows if it'll actually happen.
I wouldn't be surprised if it did happen, because they do have the kind of GW2 music file in your game where you can put in your own music if you want. So I wouldn't be surprised if it works something like that. But it is kind of cool that you can set up your own kind of drum loop beats. Do you know if you can set up a loop and like have the loop going and then play drums over it?